Welcome back to another episode of Video Game Food in Real Life. Today we'll be making the apple tart from Animal Crossing New Horizons. For our recipe today, we'll be using Granny Smith apples. You're going to need 4 Granny Smith apples, but feel free to substitute with your favorite apples. Now let's get started. For the tart dough, you'll need 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/3 cup of sugar, 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Use a dough hook attachment to cut the butter into the flour and sugar. Continue mixing the dough until it resembles coarse cornmeal, then scrape the bottom of the bowl. Add in 1 egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of water, and the zest of 1 lemon. Switch to a paddle attachment to incorporate all of these into the dough. Mix on medium-low speed until the dough starts to form. You can check the texture by clumping it together in your hand, and if it sticks, it's ready to be formed into a disc. Wrap your dough in plastic wrap and refrigerate it for about 15 minutes. Lightly grease your tart pan with butter, then sprinkle with a light coating of flour and shake off the excess. By doing this, your tart shouldn't stick to the pan. When rolling out your dough, place it in between 2 pieces of parchment paper, then roll it out to be a little bit bigger than your tart pan. Use the tart pan to measure and make sure the circumference is bigger than the tart pan, then refrigerate for 15 minutes. After chilling, place the tart pan on top of the dough and gently flip it over. Remove the parchment paper, then gently push the dough into the pan. Use both hands to help mold the dough to the shape of the pan. Fold the overhanging dough onto the rim to form a thicker edge on the crust. Smooth out the crust with your hands and fingers until the surface is smooth and clear of any bumps. Crimp the edges with a fork, then poke holes across the bottom and sides of the crust to dock into place. Bake the crust for 8 minutes at 415 degrees Fahrenheit, then remove and cool until room temperature. Now we'll create a solution for the apple slices. You'll need the juice of 1 lemon, about a cup of water, and a dash of salt. Mix the combine thoroughly and set aside. You'll need 4 Granny Smith apples for this recipe. You can cut the apples 2 ways. Cut the apple in half and get rid of the little nub at the bottom, then slice the apples paper thin. Stack the slices on top of one another and get rid of the core. This way, every slice will be the same size. The second method of cutting the apples is to core it using a teaspoon, then cut off the edge, and then slice it using a mandolin. Either way you cut it, you'll produce a great paper-thin apple slice. Now we're going to create rows of apples by taking each slice and overlapping them slightly on top of one another. Do your best to match the slices by size and thickness. Now we're going to make an apricot glaze by taking 2 tablespoons of apricot jam and 2 tablespoons of water, then microwave it and mix together. Brush some glaze across the bottom of the crust, then sprinkle some turbinado sugar across the bottom. You only need 2 tablespoons for this whole recipe. Now's the fun part. We get to assemble the apple tart. You're going to want to layer the apples in concentric circles in the tart pan until a small circle is left in the center of the pan. This process may take some time as you may need to rearrange the apple slices to ensure that they are evenly placed. Fill the center of the tart with an apple rose, made by layering the apples the same way previously, with the additional step of rolling them into a rosebud shape. Fill out the surrounding loose spaces with any leftover apple slices you may have. Now take a moment to give yourself a pat on the back and admire all your hard work. Now you're going to brush the apple slices with the apricot glaze you made earlier. Then sprinkle the remaining turbinado sugar across the top and dot the tart with 2 tablespoons of frozen butter pieces. Transfer the tart onto a baking sheet, then bake at 415 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. Now get ready to see the final results. I promise it's going to wow you. This tart is perfect for any holiday, special occasion, or just because. I was so excited to share this recipe with you all. I learned how to make this tart from my great aunt, and over the years I've adapted it and modified it to match my own personal taste. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!